Hey guys, this is still the 21st cut. The only thing different is I filled our hole with clay to change what's going on in the port because with the bolt in there, there is a little bit of room for air to go around and steal it from the intake port next to it. So it'll change those dynamics, and it's actually really interesting what it does to the air speeds in the port. As far as our liquid, that looks thicker than it was in a relatively straight line with some splattering there on the bottom. We got a suggestion for me to work on this plug boss. I think I might do that, but not right away. I'm thinking of changing my swirl vane some more. I'm relatively happy with where it flows now, but I want to run an idea past you guys and see if you like it. All right, as far as our liquid, it looks like it's over further on the right of the chamber than we've seen before, but that looks quite a bit narrower in the bowl. And it looks narrower on the valve, I think, a little bit. Let's take a look at the bowl before I forget. Okay, a little bit different, a little bit less drip, a little bit thinner. Okay, this angle looks pretty good. It went quite a bit to the roof of the port. And you can see it's got a relatively heavy line straight up out of that bowl. You can see the clay. I did whack it a couple times with the pitot as I was taking measurements. But it did stick out into the straight wall a little bit, just like a tube would if we put a tube in there. And to be honest, judging from the numbers, I kind of like it better. It's not a big difference, but I like it. It's a little fatter in the mid-range of the curve, and I like that. Okay, I didn't realize it, but I banged that clay up quite a bit. I actually fixed it. It's better than it was, but when it was flowed, it was kind of beat up because I hit it with the pitot a couple times. Neither here or there. In relevance to the flows, I don't think it made that big a difference. Okay, just a shot of what it looks like. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is, right now I have that ramp as straight as I could aimed right at the plug. I'm thinking of taking more metal out of the middle of that and making it a convex curve. I think that might work better because it'll change the angle of the collision between the high helix and that ramp. And I think that's worth a try. Even if it's a failure, it's worth a try. I can just put clay back on it. So I think that's going to be my next cut. I might even get a chance to grind some of that tonight. I just got to do a little sonic work first. Okay, this was our 21st cut, and this is the same as the 21st cut, but filled bolt hole. How'd we do? Plus, 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 minus, minus, minus. The minuses aren't that big. Okay? 300.2, 308. Yeah, that's an 8 CFM loss. But, take a look at 300. That's 6. And they're all a big difference. I'll take this curve. Sorry, guys. I'll take a nice, fat, chunky curve. I was going to say something, but I'm going to keep it clean. All right. In any case, this is what it looks like with the bolt filled. Okay? It is interesting what it does to the swirl. Like, this was our last swirl curve. This is our new swirl curve. These pluses and minuses in reference to that. Plus, 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 minus, minus, plus, 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 plus. It added swirl everywhere, which kind of makes sense to me because when we just have the bolt in there and air is leaking around it, it's going to cause a lot of turbulence, and it's not necessarily feeding around the helix the way we want to produce swirl. It also means we can change our ramp even more and still get a swirl that's right in the area where we want it. So I like it. I like it with that bolt hole clayed. Now, I'm going to have to check it every time, just like the clay on the short side that I forgot to check this time, that it's not all dented up, because that'll make a big difference. But I'm going to try to do that ramp a little bit different tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get the float tonight, because it's already pretty late. And we do have to go over the airspeeds. The airspeeds are very, the airspeeds are quite interesting, okay? So let's take a look. These were at 600, right? 276, 281, 290, 295, 290, 295. Finish is working quite well. I haven't opened it up yet. I do want to open it up. But I'm going to go one modification at a time, which really stinks because it's a lot of work to load it on and off the bench. But that way we get a better sense of exactly what's going on. Take a look at what happened to the roof speeds. All right, you pull that bolt off, the roof died compared to this. Both big minuses, right? Okay, take a look what happened to the short side. Well, air's got to go somewhere. That's where it goes. That short side is really starting to move. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense that we're getting a lot more around the short side and our swirl went up. Let me just check something. I just had to check, make sure the swirl meter is reading in the right direction, and it is. Okay, so it is swirling with the direction of the helix, which is what we want it to do. We may want to change the speed of it up and down a little bit. I mean, at 1 inch on the latest cut, it was 4357 RPM, which is screaming. All right, guys. Feedback has been excellent. Thanks so much. Really enjoy the comments. Even the ones that say I don't know what I'm doing and I'm wasting my time, I'm good with it. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me. Let's face it, you have to have issues to even try to tackle something like this. There's something seriously wrong with me. I understand. And Stevie's no better. He doesn't help. But it was interesting. I got called out to work, and on the ride home, DV gave me a call. So DV knows about this project. And I might as well tell you because it's funny. It's really funny. So I told him where we started at, 175. And I go to him, I go, Dave, what do you think I got them up to? And he thinks for a second before he answers, and he goes, "You're really good, Charlie. I bet you got these up to 240, 245. Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's always better to be underestimated, right, guys? In any case, it's actually really cool. He's going to be sending me some new work. I'm going to be visiting him in January if all goes well. I'm going to bring up the Mission Impossible stuff. I'm going to bring up the 9 Degrees stuff. We're going to do a little fooling. I got some hidden info on the Mission Impossible stuff. He was finalizing the rods, and he didn't like the look of one rod, and somehow or other he got in touch with Manley, and Manley is going to donate a nice set of rods to it. There was also talk of modern aluminum intakes and modern aluminum cylinder heads after we run my junk through the ringer. So the piece that actually gets auctioned off will be a nice piece, I have no doubt. All right, guys, I'm going to make this one short, and thank you guys for hanging out. Have a good night.